everybody, it is me, Everybody's Confusing, and today we're here talking about Arifureta from Commonplace to World's Strongest Now. I've actually read the manga to this. I've read about the first two volumes of this, and I actually pretty liked it. I liked it a lot. I really liked it, and the way that this anime has been structured is very confusing, especially how they didn't even show like the beginning of the series. Like seriously, we just got put right into it. Just got put into him just like falling down and him like with like the rabbit that can go really fast and with the giant bear that can summon magical razor claws. And I'm just like, whoa. Like whoa, and then like them doing like the thing where they show what's happening to him right now and then showing him what happened to him in the past when he was first there is very confusing. I've only watched about half of this episode. I watched about 12 minutes and I'm just like, wow. And then like I'm watching like the opening song, and the opening song was just like the song was weird and then the visuals were okay. Some parts seemed epic, and then other parts just seemed like I had no idea. Like I have no idea what to feel with the opening either. Like the opening was just okay. I honestly thought that it'd be a lot more epic, especially with the way that this series is, because I was actually very waiting for this. I was waiting for this series so much because I thought that it would be good because I like the manga and I got the light novels. I haven't actually read them yet. I have about 5 or 6 of them, and I was gonna read them once I read the third volume because I've been like holding off on it because I wanted to watch the anime. But watching this first episode just made me very confused. But there were some parts that were really good, like the part where when they were all on when they all got transported to that bridge and they were all in the place. What's weird? What's I really need to put this in there. It's weird how like he says a lot of people are saying these like phrases and these words that don't make any sense. But then if you were to read, if they were to put the beginning of the series like where it's supposed to be, if they were doing the series correctly, then a lot of things would make more sense instead of it being very confusing and very odd. Because like the series has like all this detail and things like that, but they don't even go into it. They're going like I have no idea what they're even trying to do here. But that the scene when they're on the bridge, I don't think that happened like that. Maybe it did because I remember them being in the cave. I don't remember them being transported. Maybe they did get transported, but that scene was actually perfectly done. I thought that that was like exactly the way it was supposed to be. As you saw, the way that he got sent down into lower depths into the labyrinth was because one of the people, the one that hates him the most, the red-haired guy with the wicked smile, like shot at him and made him go towards the beast, and they fell down into the labyrinth down the bridge. And then I'm assuming that's him. Even in the manga, it seemed like it was him because in the manga it's more shadowy than it was in here, because in here you can totally tell that it was him. But then based on what based it seems very obvious, but then based on the main character's answer saying like why would he do that, was it not him? Was it instead the night guy that was super nice to him instead? Or was it the captain the whole entire time, like the big dude with the giant sword that wasn't even able to protect them because where they got transported was too high level for them? But they didn't even like say what his ability was. Like you saw him running away from the bear, and you saw him go transmute, transmute, transmute as he's trying to run away to not get killed. Since like the bear was able to cut off his arm, and that's one of the main aspects of his character that uh that you see, especially when you see like the opening song just showing what happens to his arm. And especially they don't even like introduce the characters either. Like it's just like look at these characters, they're doing things, that's it. Like it's very confusing still. Like you don't even know who anybody is. No, like we only know like I guess the main character's name because they only said his what was it? The girl called him by his first name. Or I guess like maybe that was his last name instead. But everything else, especially the stuff in the cave, I guess was pretty well done too. But the voice actor for the main character, it seems okay. The scene where he's asking himself to die and not die, I think that scene was pretty well done because I remember that from the manga, and that was like one of my favorite scenes. Like I think I like the art in the manga a lot better than I do in this anime. Like the style just like doesn't fit for me. I really like the way that looks in the manga, especially like maybe they're going towards a more of the light novel style, I guess, because like the light novel and manga are like so different. Other than that, the first 12 minutes of this is it's okay. I hope that it gets a little bit better for the second half, but I just thought that it would be a lot better. Hey, I'm back and I just watched the whole entire rest of the episode, and all I gotta say is that ending song is literal trash. Literally just 2 stars that that like are pretty much representing the girl that we saw at the ending that's trapped inside of a thing, and she looks malnourished. You can see her bones a little bit. She looks very skinny, and then you see the white star, which represents the main character because his hair turned to white after he ate monster meat, and it's just them twinkling around on a red screen while we have the backdrop of like credits. And I'm just like, seriously, if that's gonna be the ending song for every single episode until the 12th or 13th episode, I'm just like, wow, that's just trashed. Like, what would have been better is if they just took screenshots from the light novel or manga, or just colored pictures from the author and then just have that over music. That would have been like an ounce better than what they just did right here. And then like I'm okay sometimes with like I said with the opening song, I'm okay with like them putting scenes or putting like action scenes from the anime into the opening if it works well, but then sometimes it doesn't. Like there's only like some things in the opening song that are like original just for the song, but then others are just they just took screenshot they just put like shots from the anime itself and just put it right into it. Like for the last bits of the opening song, you can tell that they didn't have enough time to finish it all. And I can just tell that this anime is just for people to just buy the manga and light novel, because like with the way that this first episode is, they basically did almost the whole entire like first volume pretty much, or like like man, they did like a lot of stuff in this episode. So after the mid-credit scene, we saw how Shirasaki, the girl, the what was it, the like sister girl, the healing girl, went up to the main character Hajime, and then like said, "I had a bad dream about you disappearing and dying," like he did because he got betrayed, and then like fell down and into the abyss, and then he's just like, "I should take me with you." There's a lot more context to that scene if they actually did this anime correctly, if they actually did scenes and events correctly, instead of it doing all out of order and all weirdly. Like it's very confusing unless you read the manga, or things like one thing that they showed at the very at the ending is that the main character showed his nameplate. It showed his stats like thing, and that is like a big thing, especially like at the beginning, because that's like there's like a whole entire scene dedicated to people getting their nameplates, their stat windows, and he looks at it and sees his stats, and you see it change over time throughout the whole entire volume one until we get to the point that we got to where he started eating monster meat. And that's one of the things I liked about this, even though that this is like every single Isekai series nowadays, especially with slime and like others, where you basically you eat monsters and you gain abilities. Basically, he ends up I'm going all over the place. So basically the girl had the bad dream and then he said, "If you protect me, then I'll be okay." So then he went anyways, and she saw him disappear anyways. So basically we saw him in his hole being super depressed, and at first, like I said in my earlier parts of the review, I said I didn't like his voice. I think now I like his voice. I think that it works a lot better. That's one thing that I could say about this. And then we saw him like basically like trying to get up the motivation to like get up when he's just been laying inside that hole. Now I think that in the manga it said that he was there for a long time, or maybe for a very short time, but it seemed like a long time to him. But his stat window showed like how many months went by. I think in the manga, so it has been a long time. I think he's been in there for like a month maybe. If I got that right, if I got that wrong, then you can tell me in the comments. So then he's like there, and then he decides to eat the monster meat because he's super hungry, and then he ends up seeing like a holy stone above his head, and it's like holy water that's splashing down into his mouth that saved him as his arm was dying. And then he like starts eating the monster meat, and then he like finds out that if he eats the monster meat, then he can kill himself. But then he ends up using holy water to sedate the monster meat as he's healing himself, and his hair turns from what was it, brown or black? I think it was black to white, and then he ends up like you see his body change, like he went from like basically like a skinny weakling dude to like a muscular dude super easily, and you saw his muscles get toned as he was like transforming, and then he ended up getting the abilities with the monsters that he eats, just like in slime. And then he just tries to fight off against enemies, and then just like in like the smartphone anime and like manga and stuff like that, you see him create a gun. He creates like a revolver to shoot his enemies with, and uses his lightning powers that he got from what the wolves. And then he ends up also getting abilities from the bunny. He ends up getting like the fast movement, being able to like jump really high. And then he ends up fighting off against the bear. And I like find it really funny how he faces off against the bear. Then he tries to shoot it, but then he misses like three times. I'm just like, dude, you missed three times. And he gets swatted away, and he's like almost like he's like on the ground, can't even move. And then I thought that he threw a grenade, but he threw a flashbang. He created a flashbang with his transmutation. He saw that his I was talking about how we didn't know what his ability was at the beginning of my review, but it's called synergist. He's a synergist ability. So then he uses the flashbang, and then he shoots the gun, shoots off the bear's arm, and his bear arm flies right in front of him. Very convenient. And then he eats the arm right in front of the bear to make him pissed because the bear ate his arm earlier. And then after that, he uses his holy water because he doesn't want to choke on the bear's like monster meat and get. You saw it was really weird, cool scene when you saw like his cells in his body get all crystallization, all monster like. That's a huge thing in the second volume with his blood and stuff like that. He ends up defeating the bear by I think what is it, shooting off his head, and then he ends up just eating the rest of it. We saw him like doing like a lot of like what was it, like information gathering, because he's able to like look at ores and stuff like that and be able to like look at their information, which I think is a part of his synergist and transmutation like abilities that he had. But the flashback scenes were pretty okay in this episode, and the ending was pretty good. We saw how when he was in the old, even forgot to mention this. When he was whole and he was thinking, trying to get the motivation to get up, he ended up saying how he's got betrayed. He hates all his classmates, even the one that he liked, and he hates everyone, and he just wants to just kill anyone that's in his way. Beautiful scene, and he's just gonna like strive forward and try to get home, try to get back to his real world, because this is an isekai series, in case you didn't know, because they only showed it in the opening song at some point for like a flash of 2 seconds, when that was supposed to be the whole entire first bits of this episode, but I guess they wanted to be a little bit different. This episode was pretty okay. I don't even know if I'm even gonna like this. I'm gonna watch the second episode to see if anything good happens, especially with the events, if they unless they skip stuff in the next episode, which I guess they probably will. I would give this episode a 5 or 6 out of 10 so far. But based on the material that I did see, I would give the material that I liked like an 8 or a 9. But yeah, if you enjoyed my review, my thoughts and my opinions on this episode, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy this whatsoever, leave a dislike. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next review of this and other stuff. And yeah, bye. See you later.